Question 1. Describe the steps to manage a suspected norovirus outbreak in a food service establishment. A. Close the establishment for a week. B. Isolate affected staff. Enhance cleaning and report to health authorities. C. Serve only cooked foods. D. Increase the use of hand sanitizers. Answer. B. Isolate affected staff. Enhance cleaning and report to health authorities. In managing a suspected norovirus outbreak, it is crucial to isolate affected staff members, enhance cleaning and disinfection practices, especially of high-touch surfaces, and report the incident to health authorities for guidance and to prevent further spread. Question 2. How should you handle a large-scale recall of a commonly used ingredient in your kitchen? A. Continue using the ingredient until a replacement is found. B. Immediately stop using the ingredient, inform customers, and follow recall procedures. C. Discard the ingredient without notifying anyone. D. Use the ingredient only for staff meals. Answer. B. Immediately stop using the ingredient, inform customers, and follow recall procedures. When a commonly used ingredient is recalled on a large scale, it should immediately be ceased from use. Customers should be informed if their food may have been affected, and the establishment should follow the specific recall procedures to ensure safety. Question 3. Explain the process for conducting a hazard analysis in a HACCP system. A. Focus only on the final product testing. B. Identify hazards, determine CCPs, and establish corrective actions. C. Skip hazard analysis in low-risk foods. D. Outsource the process to an external agency. Answer. B. Identify hazards, determine CCPs, and establish corrective actions. In HACCP system, conducting a hazard analysis involves identifying potential hazards, biological, chemical, or physical, determining the critical control points, CCPs, where these hazards can be controlled or eliminated, and establishing corrective actions for deviations at these CCPs. Question 4. What are the critical control points in cooking poultry? A. Marinating and serving. B. Defrosting and marinating. C. Cooking and cooling. D. Purchasing and storage. Answer. C. Cooking and cooling. The critical control points in cooking poultry are the cooking and cooling processes. Cooking poultry to the correct internal temperature ensures harmful bacteria are killed, and proper cooling prevents bacterial growth. Question 5. How do you ensure the effectiveness of a sanitizing solution over time? A. By changing the solution annually. B. Regularly test with strips and replace as per manufacturer's guidelines. C. Use more sanitizer in the mix. D. Rely on visual inspection. Answer. B. Regularly test with strips and replace as per manufacturer's guidelines. The effectiveness of a sanitizing solution over time can be ensured by regularly testing its concentration with test strips and replacing the solution as per the manufacturer's guidelines to maintain its efficacy. Question 6. What are the signs of botulism in canned foods and how do you respond? A. Dented or rusting cans. Discard the cans and food. B. Leaking cans. Cook the food thoroughly. C. Expiration date is near. Use quickly. D. No visible signs. No response needed. Answer. A. Dented or rusting cans. Discard the cans and food. Signs of botulism in canned foods include bulging, leaking, dented, or rusting cans, and if such signs are observed, the cans and the food inside should be discarded immediately without opening or tasting. Question 7. Describe the procedure for safely reheating potentially hazardous foods for hot holding. A. Reheat to at least 135 degrees Fahrenheit, 57 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. B. Reheat in a microwave and serve immediately. C. Reheat to 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius within 2 hours. D. Reheat at room temperature. Answer. C. Reheat to 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius within 2 hours. The procedure for safely reheating potentially hazardous foods for hot holding involves reheating the food to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius, within 2 hours to ensure that any potential pathogens are killed. Question 8. How can you prevent histamine formation in fish? A. By freezing the fish. B. Cooking at high temperatures. C. Maintaining cold temperatures from catch to serving. D. Marinating with acidic ingredients. Answer. C. Maintaining cold temperatures from catch to serving. Preventing histamine formation in fish is achieved by maintaining cold temperatures throughout the supply chain, from catch to serving, as histamine formation is associated with time temperature abuse. Question 9. What are the best practices for transporting hot and cold foods to an off-site event? A. Transport at room temperature to simplify the process. B. Use insulated carriers, maintaining appropriate temperatures. C. Cool all foods before transport. D. Focus only on the taste and presentation. Answer. B. Use insulated carriers, maintaining appropriate temperatures. The best practices for transporting hot and cold foods to an off-site event involve using insulated carriers or containers that maintain the appropriate temperatures for each type of food to ensure safety. Question 10. Explain the principles of dry storage and the risks associated with improper practices. A. Store in a damp, cool place to prevent drying out. B. Maintain moderate temperatures and low humidity. C. Focus on high-density storage. D. No specific principles. Store as convenient. Answer. B. Maintain moderate temperatures and low humidity. The principles of dry storage involve maintaining moderate temperatures and low humidity to prevent the growth of pathogens and spoilage organisms, as improper practices can lead to contamination and spoilage of stored food. Question 11. How should you manage food allergies in a buffet-style service? A. Ignore them as the risk is minimal. B. Clearly label dishes with potential allergens. C. Offer only allergen-free dishes. D. Allow customers to bring their own food. Answer. B. Clearly label dishes with potential allergens. Managing food allergies in a buffet-style service requires clearly labeling dishes with potential allergens, providing ingredient information, and considering cross-contact to help customers with allergies make safe food choices. Question 12. What steps are involved in properly calibrating a bimetallic stamped thermometer? A. Adjusting the thermometer in boiling water only. B. Using ice water or boiling water methods and adjusting accordingly. C. Sending it to the manufacturer for calibration. D. Calibration is not necessary for bimetallic stamped thermometers. Answer. B. Using ice water or boiling water methods and adjusting accordingly. Properly calibrating a bimetallic stamped thermometer involves using the ice water method, 32 degree Fahrenheit / 0 degree Celsius, or boiling water method, 212 degree Fahrenheit / 100 degrees Celsius, adjusted for altitude, and then adjusting the thermometer to read the correct temperature. Question 13. Describe the protocol for cleaning a meat slicer to prevent listeria contamination. A. Wipe with a damp cloth daily. B. Rinse with water after each use. C. Fully disassemble, clean, and sanitize after each use. D. Clean only when visible residue is present. Answer. C. Fully disassemble, clean, and sanitize after each use. The protocol for cleaning a meat slicer to prevent listeria contamination involves fully disassembling the slicer, thoroughly cleaning, and sanitizing all parts after each use to eliminate any potential listeria contamination. Question 14. How can you ensure that sous-vide cooking methods are safe? A. Cooking at low temperatures for shorter periods. B. Adhering to precise time temperature controls. C. Only using sous-vide for vegetables. D. Regular taste testing during cooking. Answer. B. Adhering to precise time temperature controls. Ensuring safety in sous-vide cooking methods requires strict adherence to precise time temperature controls to effectively kill pathogens and prevent the growth of bacteria, especially in the anaerobic environment created by sous-vide. Question 15. What are the risks associated with vacuum packaging and how can they be mitigated? A. No significant risks associated. B. Risk of anaerobic bacteria growth. Mitigate by proper temperature control. C. Risk of freezer burn. Use thicker packaging. D. Risk of overpackaging. Limit the use of plastic. Answer B. Risk of anaerobic bacteria growth. Mitigate by proper temperature control. The primary risk associated with vacuum packaging is the growth of anaerobic bacteria, such as Clostridium botulism. This risk can be mitigated by maintaining proper temperature control and following food safety guidelines. Question 16. Explain the proper disposal procedure for a chemical contaminant spill in the kitchen. A. Clean up with water and resume operations. B. Evacuate the kitchen and call emergency services. C. Contain the spill, use appropriate PPE, and clean as per MSDS guidelines. D. Cover the spill with a cloth and continue working. Answer C. Contain the spill, use appropriate PPE, and clean as per Material Safety Data Sheet, MSDS, guidelines. The proper disposal procedure for a chemical contaminant spill involves containing the spill using personal protective equipment, PPE, and cleaning up the spill according to the guidelines provided in the Material Safety Data Sheet for the specific chemical. Question 17. How should you handle an incident of physical contamination found by a customer? A. Compensate the customer and ignore further action. B. Investigate the source, address the immediate issue, and implement corrective actions. C. Blame the supplier. D. Advise the customer to be more careful. Answer B. Investigate the source, address the immediate issue, and implement corrective actions. Handling an incident of physical contamination found by a customer involves investigating the source of the contamination, addressing the immediate issue with the customer, and implementing corrective actions to prevent future occurrences. Question 18. What are the critical factors to consider in the design of a kitchen to prevent cross-contamination? A. Aesthetic appeal and cost-effectiveness. B. Layout for workflow efficiency only. C. Separate areas for raw and cooked foods and appropriate equipment placement. D. Maximum capacity for equipment and staff. Answer C. Separate areas for raw and cooked foods and appropriate equipment placement. Critical factors in kitchen design to prevent cross-contamination include having separate areas for handling raw and cooked foods, placing equipment to prevent the spread of contaminants, and ensuring easy access for cleaning and sanitation. Question 19. How do you establish a food recall plan in your establishment? A. Wait for a recall to happen and then react. B. Develop a plan with defined roles, communication strategies, and traceability systems. C. Assume suppliers will handle recalls. D. Focus on public relations strategies only. Answer B. Develop a plan with defined roles, communication strategies, and traceability systems. Establishing a food recall plan involves developing a comprehensive plan that includes defined roles and responsibilities, effective communication strategies with customers and suppliers, and traceability systems to quickly identify and manage recalled products. Question 20. Explain the process for verifying the effectiveness of a pest control program. A. Only check for visible signs of pests. B. Rely on customer feedback. C. Regular inspections, monitoring devices, and review of control measures. D. Pest control effectiveness does not need verification. Answer C. Regular inspections, monitoring devices, and review of control measures. Verifying the effectiveness of a pest control program involves conducting regular inspections, using monitoring devices to detect pest activity, and reviewing control measures to ensure they are effective and being properly implemented. Question 21. Describe the specific food safety considerations when preparing food for immunocompromised individuals. A. Use only organic ingredients. B. Strict hygiene. Avoid raw or undercooked foods. C. Focus on taste preferences only. D. Serve food at room temperature. Answer B. Strict hygiene. Avoid raw or undercooked foods. When preparing food for immunocompromised individuals, it is crucial to practice strict hygiene and avoid raw or undercooked foods to minimize the risk of foodborne illnesses that they are more susceptible to. Question 22. How do you implement a food safety training program for a multicultural kitchen staff? A. Provide training in a single language. B. Focus on written materials only. C. Use a one-size-fits-all approach. D. Adapt training to various languages and cultures and use visual aids. Answer D. Adapt training to various languages and cultures and use visual aids. Implementing a food safety training program for a multicultural kitchen staff involves adapting the training to accommodate various languages and cultural practices and using visual aids to ensure understanding and compliance. Question 23. What are the key differences in food safety practices for raw versus cooked seafood? A. No differences, treat both the same. B. Different storage temperatures and handling procedures. C. Only cooked seafood requires temperature control. D. Only raw seafood needs to be cleaned. Answer B. Different storage temperatures and handling procedures. The key differences in food safety practices for raw versus cooked seafood involve different storage temperatures and specific handling procedures to prevent cross-contamination and ensure safety. Question 24. Explain the steps to ensure the safety of foraged ingredients in a restaurant setting. A. Use them immediately without any verification. B. Verify the edibility, check for contaminants, and store properly. C. Only wash with water. D. Foraged ingredients are always safe. Answer B. Verify the edibility, check for contaminants, and store properly. Ensuring the safety of foraged ingredients involves verifying their edibility, checking for environmental contaminants, and storing them properly to maintain safety and quality. Question 25. How can a restaurant effectively manage and document allergen traceability in their supply chain? A. Assume suppliers handle allergen traceability. B. Only focus on major allergens. C. Maintain detailed records of ingredients and communicate with suppliers. D. Allergen traceability is not necessary for restaurants. Answer C. Maintain detailed records of ingredients and communicate with suppliers. Effectively managing and documenting allergen traceability involves maintaining detailed records of all ingredients used, their allergen information, and regularly communicating with suppliers to stay updated on any changes. Question 26. Describe the risk factors and prevention strategies for Clostridium perfringens in a catering setting. A. There are no specific risk factors. B. Quick cooling and reheating, maintaining proper hot and cold holding temperatures. C. Use only pre-cooked foods. D. Focus on spicy foods only. Answer B. Quick cooling and reheating, maintaining proper hot and cold holding temperatures. The risk factors for Clostridium perfringens include improper cooling and reheating processes. Prevention strategies involve quickly cooling and reheating foods and maintaining proper temperatures during hot and cold holding to inhibit bacterial growth. Question 27. How should you respond to an E. coli contamination in leafy greens? A. Rinse the greens with water and serve. B. Cook all leafy greens before serving. C. Remove and discard the contaminated product and follow health guidelines. D. Continue using but monitor for symptoms. Answer C. Remove and discard the contaminated product and follow health guidelines. In response to an E. coli contamination in leafy greens, the contaminated product should be removed and discarded immediately, and health department guidelines should be followed to prevent further contamination. Question 28. What are the challenges and solutions for maintaining food safety in a mobile food truck? A. No challenges as food trucks are simpler to manage. B. Limited space for storage, need for frequent temperature monitoring. C. Use only non-perishable ingredients. D. Food trucks only need minimal cleaning. Answer B. Limited space for storage, need for frequent temperature monitoring. The challenges in a mobile food truck include limited space for proper storage and the need for frequent temperature monitoring. Solutions involve strategic organization of space and diligent temperature control to ensure food safety. Question 29. Describe the process for safely cooling large volumes of soup or stew. A. Let it cool at room temperature. B. Place in shallow pans and refrigerate, stir periodically. C. Directly transfer to freezer. D. Cool in large containers to save space. Answer B. Place in shallow pans and refrigerate, stir periodically. To safely cool large volumes of soup or stew, transfer them into shallow pans to increase the surface area for cooling, refrigerate them, and stir periodically to ensure even cooling and prevent bacterial growth. Question 30. How do you manage cross-contact of allergens in a kitchen with limited space? A. Only offer allergen-free dishes. B. Designate specific areas and equipment for allergen-containing foods. C. Ignore the risk due to space limitations. D. Use color-coded utensils without specific areas. Answer B. Designate specific areas and equipment for allergen-containing foods. In a kitchen with limited space, managing cross-contact of allergens involves designating specific areas and equipment for preparing allergen-containing foods and ensuring strict separation and cleaning protocols. Question 31. Explain the procedures for safely using and storing molecular gastronomy ingredients. A. Treat them like any other ingredient. B. Follow manufacturer's guidelines and label clearly. C. Store at room temperature only. D. Molecular gastronomy does not require special procedures. Answer B. Follow manufacturer's guidelines and label clearly. The safe use and storage of molecular gastronomy ingredients involve following the manufacturer's guidelines for each ingredient and labeling them clearly to prevent misuse and ensure food safety. Question 32. What are the guidelines for preparing and serving food to highly susceptible populations in healthcare setting? A. Use more spices and seasonings. B. Adhere to stricter food safety standards and consider specific dietary needs. C. Serve only cold foods. D. Focus on presentation over safety. Answer B. Adhere to stricter food safety standards and consider specific dietary needs. When preparing and serving food to highly susceptible populations in healthcare setting, it's important to adhere to stricter food safety standards and consider specific dietary needs and restrictions to protect their health. Question 33. How should you design and implement a food rotation system to maximize food safety? A. Base it on the cost of the ingredients. B. First in, first out, FIFO, principal and regular inventory checks. C. Rotate foods only when expired. D. Focus on rotating high-demand items only. Answer B. First in, first out, FIFO, principal and regular inventory checks. Designing and implementing a food rotation system should be based on the first in, first out, FIFO principle, ensuring that older stock is used first, combined with regular inventory checks to manage stock and reduce waste. Question 34. What are the food safety considerations when using reusable containers in a takeout service? A. Reusable containers are not suitable for takeout. B. Ensure containers are food grade, customers clean them, and staff handle them safely. C. Use the same containers for all types of food. D. Disinfect containers with chemicals before each use. Answer B. Ensure containers are food grade, customers clean them, and staff handle them safely. When using reusable containers in a takeout service, it's important to ensure that the containers are made of food grade materials, customers are responsible for cleaning them, and staff handle them in a way that prevents cross-contamination. Question 35. Describe the protocol for sanitizing equipment after handling a foodborne illness outbreak. A. No special protocol needed. B. Rinse with water and dry. C. Thoroughly clean and sanitize all equipment and surfaces. D. Only sanitize equipment directly involved in the outbreak. Answer: C. Thoroughly clean and sanitize all equipment and surfaces. The protocol for sanitizing equipment after a foodborne illness outbreak involves thoroughly cleaning and sanitizing all equipment and surfaces that may have been contaminated to prevent further spread of the illness. Question 36. How can you ensure the safety of imported foods that have different safety regulations? A. Only purchase local foods. B. Rely on the exporter's safety standards. C. Conduct regular quality checks and adhere to local food safety standards. D. Assume all imported foods are safe. Answer: C. Conduct regular quality checks and adhere to local food safety standards. Ensuring the safety of imported foods involves conducting regular quality checks to ensure they meet local food safety standards, despite having different safety regulations in their country of origin. Question 37. Explain the proper procedure for handling a customer's report of a foodborne illness. A. Dismiss it as unlikely. B. Take detailed information, investigate, and report to health authorities. C. Offer a refund and forget the incident. D. Ask for medical proof from the customer. Answer: B. Take detailed information, investigate, and report to health authorities. The proper procedure for handling a customer's report of a foodborne illness involves taking detailed information about the incident, conducting an investigation to identify the possible cause, and reporting the incident to health authorities for further action. Question 38. What are the guidelines for using time as a control for potentially hazardous foods? A. Time control is not an effective strategy. B. Keep food out for a maximum of 4 hours and then discard. C. Use time control only for cold foods. D. Time control varies depending on the type of food. Answer: B. Keep food out for a maximum of 4 hours and then discard. Using time as a control for potentially hazardous foods involves keeping the food out of temperature control for a specific period, usually a maximum of 4 hours, and then discarding it if not consumed within that time frame to prevent bacterial growth. Question 39. Describe the specific considerations for allergen management in a bakery setting. A. Allergens are not a concern in baking. B. Use separate equipment and storage for allergen-free products. C. Label only products with nuts. D. Avoid using any allergens in the bakery. Answer: B. Use separate equipment and storage for allergen-free products. In a bakery setting, allergen management requires using separate equipment and storage areas for allergen-free products, careful labeling of products with allergens, and strict procedures to prevent cross-contact. Question 40. How do you conduct a risk assessment for introducing a new menu item with uncommon ingredients? A. Base it on customer preferences. B. Identify potential hazards, assess severity, and implement controls. C. Skip risk assessment for unique items. D. Focus only on taste testing. Answer: B. Identify potential hazards, assess severity, and implement controls. Conducting a risk assessment for introducing a new menu item with uncommon ingredients involves identifying potential food safety hazards associated with the ingredients, assessing the severity of these hazards, and implementing appropriate control measures to mitigate risks. Question 41. Explain the food safety risks associated with fermentation processes and how to control them. A. There are no risks in fermentation. B. Control temperature and pH and use clean equipment. C. Ferment only in plastic containers. D. Add preservatives to all fermented products. Answer: B. Control temperature and pH and use clean equipment. The food safety risks in fermentation include uncontrolled microbial growth. These risks can be managed by controlling the fermentation temperature and fate levels and using clean, sanitized equipment. Question 42. What are the critical factors in ensuring the safety of food cooked at low temperatures over an extended period? A. Cooking for a short duration. B. Ensuring rapid cooling after cooking. C. Monitoring temperature and time accurately. D. Adding acidic ingredients for flavor. Answer: C. Monitoring temperature and time accurately. Ensuring the safety of food cooked at low temperatures over an extended period requires accurate monitoring of both temperature and time to prevent bacterial growth and ensure thorough cooking. Question 43. How do you manage and document temperature control for foods delivered via third-party services? A. Assume the third-party service manages it. B. Check and record temperatures upon receipt. C. No need to document if using a reputable service. D. Only check the temperature of raw foods. Answer: B. Check and record temperatures upon receipt. When receiving foods delivered via third-party services, it's important to check and document the temperatures upon receipt to ensure they have been maintained within safe limits during transit. Question 44. Describe the steps to take when you suspect cross-contamination has occurred in your kitchen. A. Ignore it unless a customer complains. B. Identify the source, isolate contaminated items, sanitize affected areas, and retrain staff. C. Discard all food in the kitchen. D. Close the kitchen for a deep clean. Answer: B. Identify the source, isolate contaminated items, sanitize affected areas, and retrain staff. When cross-contamination is suspected, the steps include identifying the source of contamination, isolating any potentially contaminated items, thoroughly sanitizing affected areas, and retraining staff to prevent recurrence. Question 45. What is the process for implementing a food defense plan in a restaurant? A. Food defense is not necessary in restaurants. B. Installing security cameras only. C. Assess vulnerabilities, develop a plan, train staff, and monitor. D. Rely on local law enforcement. Answer: C. Assess vulnerabilities, develop a plan, train staff, and monitor. Implementing a food defense plan involves assessing vulnerabilities within the restaurant, developing a plan to address these vulnerabilities, training staff on food defense practices, and regularly monitoring and updating the plan as needed. Question 46. How do you handle raw produce to prevent cyclospore contamination? A. Cook all produce before serving. B. Wash thoroughly under running water and avoid cross-contamination. C. Use produce immediately after purchasing. D. Soak in vinegar solution. Answer: B. Wash thoroughly under running water and avoid cross-contamination. To prevent cyclospore contamination in raw produce, it is essential to wash the produce thoroughly under running water and handle it in a way that avoids cross-contamination with other foods. Question 47. Explain the importance of ice machine maintenance in food safety. A. Ice machines do not impact food safety. B. Regular cleaning and sanitizing to prevent microbial growth. C. Ice machines only need maintenance annually. D. Outsourcing maintenance to a third party. Answer: B. Regular cleaning and sanitizing to prevent microbial growth. The maintenance of ice machines is important for food safety as it involves regular cleaning and sanitizing to prevent microbial growth and contamination of the ice, which can be a food safety hazard. Question 48. What are the considerations for safely incorporating edible insects into a menu? A. No specific considerations are needed. B. Sourcing from reputable suppliers, ensuring proper identification and safe preparation. C. Cooking at high temperatures only. D. Serving only to adventurous customers. Answer: B. Sourcing from reputable suppliers, ensuring proper identification and safe preparation. Safely incorporating edible insects into a menu involves sourcing from reputable suppliers to ensure they are safe for consumption, ensuring proper identification of the insect species, and preparing them safely to prevent any food safety risks. Question 49. How do you ensure food safety in a farm-to-table setup where traditional supply chain controls may not apply? A. Rely solely on the reputation of the farm. B. Develop direct relationships with farmers, conduct site visits, and implement safety standards. C. Use only organic farms. D. Farm-to-table setups are inherently safe. Answer: B. Develop direct relationships with farmers, conduct site visits, and implement safety standards. Ensuring food safety in a farm-to-table setup involves developing direct relationships with farmers, conducting site visits to assess their practices, and implementing safety standards that align with food safety requirements. Question 50. Describe the challenges and solutions in maintaining food safety in a high-volume buffet setting. A. Buffets do not pose food safety challenges. B. Regular replacement of dishes, temperature control, and monitoring for cross-contamination. C. Serve only pre-packaged foods. D. Limit the variety of dishes offered. Answer: B. Regular replacement of dishes, temperature control, and monitoring for cross-contamination. Maintaining food safety in a high-volume buffet setting involves challenges like ensuring regular replacement of dishes to keep food fresh, maintaining proper temperature control, and vigilant monitoring to prevent cross-contamination. Question 51. What are the specific food safety considerations for sous-vide eggs? A. Sous-vide eggs are risk-free. B. Cooking at controlled temperatures for a specific duration. C. Using only brown eggs. D. Adding vinegar to the water. Answer: B. Cooking at controlled temperatures for a specific duration. The specific food safety considerations for sous-vide eggs involve cooking them at precisely controlled temperatures for a specific duration to ensure pathogens, particularly salmonella, are eliminated. Question 52. Explain the process of safely integrating home canned goods into a commercial kitchen. A. Home canned goods should not be used in commercial kitchens. B. Use without any additional checks. C. Ensure proper canning process, fee level testing, and storage. D. Label as organic and serve. Answer: C. Ensure proper canning process, fee level testing, and storage. Safely integrating home canned goods into a commercial kitchen involves ensuring that the canning process was done correctly, testing the feed levels to ensure safety, and proper storage to prevent botulism and other foodborne illnesses. Question 53. How do you manage a situation where a key food safety record or log has been misplaced or lost? A. Ignore the situation. B. Recreate the records from memory. C. Investigate the loss, update procedures to prevent recurrence, and reconstruct records as much as possible. D. Report to authorities as a criminal matter. Answer: C. Investigate the loss, update procedures to prevent recurrence, and reconstruct records as much as possible. Managing the loss or misplacement of a key food safety record involves investigating how the loss occurred, updating procedures to prevent future occurrences, and attempting to reconstruct the records as accurately as possible. Question 54. Describe the food safety implications of using non-traditional cooking methods like solar cooking. A. Solar cooking is always safe. B. Ensuring consistent and adequate cooking temperatures are reached. C. Solar cooking is only for demonstration purposes. D. No implications as it is similar to conventional cooking. Answer: B. Ensuring consistent and adequate cooking temperatures are reached. The food safety implications of using non-traditional cooking methods like solar cooking include the need to ensure that consistent and adequate cooking temperatures are reached to safely cook the food and eliminate pathogens. Question 55. How can a restaurant ensure the safety of menu items containing raw or minimally processed grains and seeds? A. Soaking grains and seeds in water overnight. B. Sourcing from certified suppliers, proper storage, and handling. C. Only using pre-cooked grains and seeds. D. Avoiding the use of raw grains and seeds. Answer B. Sourcing from certified suppliers, proper storage, and handling. Ensuring the safety of menu items containing raw or minimally processed grains and seeds involves sourcing from certified suppliers to ensure quality, proper storage to prevent contamination, and safe handling practices. Question 56. What are the guidelines for the safe preparation and handling of plant-based meat alternatives? A. Treat them as non-perishable items. B. Handle like traditional meat, considering cross-contamination and cooking temperatures. C. Plant-based alternatives require no special handling. D. Always serve raw to preserve nutrients. Answer B. Handle like traditional meat, considering cross-contamination and cooking temperatures. The safe preparation and handling of plant-based meat alternatives involve treating them similarly to traditional meat, with careful consideration for cross-contamination and ensuring appropriate cooking temperatures are reached for safety. Question 57. Describe the process for conducting an effective food safety audit in a restaurant. A. Audits are unnecessary if no complaints are received. B. Relying solely on self-assessment. C. Reviewing procedures, observing practices, and providing feedback and action plans. D. Only focus on the cleanliness of the dining area. Answer C. Reviewing procedures, observing practices, and providing feedback and action plans. Conducting an effective food safety audit in a restaurant involves reviewing the established food safety procedures, observing the actual practices, and providing feedback along with action plans for any necessary improvements. Question 58. How do you address the risk of acrylamide formation in foods and its implications for food safety? A. Acrylamide formation is not a food safety concern. B. Cook foods at lower temperatures for longer. C. Avoid cooking starchy foods. D. Control cooking temperatures and times, especially for starchy foods. Answer D. Control cooking temperatures and times, especially for starchy foods. Addressing the risk of acrylamide formation, a potential carcinogen, involves controlling cooking temperatures and times, particularly for starchy foods like potatoes and bread, to prevent excessive acrylamide formation. Question 59. What are the unique food safety challenges in a zero-waste kitchen and how can they be addressed? A. Zero-waste kitchens have no food safety challenges. B. Innovative storage solutions, meticulous inventory management, and creative repurposing of ingredients. C. Using only disposable utensils and containers. D. Reducing menu variety to minimize waste. Answer B. Innovative storage solutions, meticulous inventory management, and creative repurposing of ingredients. The unique food safety challenges in a zero-waste kitchen include managing food storage innovatively to prevent spoilage, meticulous inventory management to use ingredients before they go bad, and creatively repurposing ingredients while ensuring food safety. Question 60. Explain the procedures for safely incorporating wild game meats into a restaurant menu. A. Wild game meats should not be used in restaurants. B. Cooking thoroughly to the highest temperature. C. Ensuring proper sourcing, inspection, and handling to prevent contamination. D. Serving only to knowledgeable customers. Answer C. Ensuring proper sourcing, inspection, and handling to prevent contamination. Safely incorporating wild game meats into a restaurant menu requires ensuring that the meats are properly sourced, inspected for safety, and handled correctly to prevent cross-contamination and other food safety risks.